I look a little witchy today in my shirt, but it's because what I have to teach you is actual sorcery. There are so many situations in life where learning how to make someone miss you can actually get you farther in life. It can help you score your crush, win over your coworkers, and even put you at the top of the totem pole socially. So today's video is all about how to make someone miss you. So the tips I'm going to share with you are all about how to capture someone's mental energy. So that's getting them to think about you, what they think about when you're not around, and getting them to like you, whether that's romantically or otherwise. And the great thing is that they're actually so easy to do. You can make someone miss you right now. First tip. All of the other tips are literally irrelevant if you cannot pull this one off. The only way you're going to be able to get someone to miss you is if you are actually missable. What does being missable mean? It means that you are the type of person that your crush or partner actually wants to be around. I see a lot of examples of people who get really pissed off that someone isn't missing them or liking them, but honestly a lot of it is the negative energy that they're carrying around, thinking that they're entitled to have this person like them or whatnot. Negative energy will literally never get you to be liked by anyone. It only ever results in disaster. If you've ever seen The Bachelor, and it's on right now, I'm watching it, a really good example is that the ones who are always crying and have tears and are causing drama are literally always the first ones to get kicked off because they're just not that missable kind of personality.
I do not have time for that.
The people that always get chosen at the end are ones that are really pleasant and smiling. Number 2, guys, you may have heard the Tony Robbins quote that rejection breeds obsession. And what we really want is for people to be obsessed with you. So that doesn't mean you have to outright reject them, because obviously if you like them, you want to be together. But you can give them little teeny tidbits of rejection that can just fuel their liking for you even more. So there are 2 ways to do these teeny tiny rejections that create anticipation. The first one is to leave conversations unresolved. Just a little bit. Now, I know this is really tempting when you're first trying to get to know someone because you want the conversation to go on for hours and hours and hours, but you almost have to resist your own temptation and be more conservative at first against your own wishes just to be able to keep that other person hanging a little bit longer. This texting example is pretty much a perfect text message example of how to make someone miss you. So you'll see at the beginning, you tell your crush about a story of something that happened to you at camp last year, and then you kind of keep them waiting a bit to find out what happened. And then at the very end, you keep them hanging even a little bit more by telling them that you'll tell them when you see them. This is kind of perfect because it makes the person not be able to wait to see you next because they want to know about what that story is that you were going to tell them. If you do feel like this one is a little bit too forward for you, you can just leave them hanging in a more subtle way by just the old-fashioned gotta go or G to G or something like that. So the next one is about creating a feeling of anticipation, but in a completely different way. So think about the people in your life and some of the things you like to do with those people. When you think of them, chances are you think of activities that you would typically do with them. So when I think about my mom, for example, I always think about going shopping and baking Christmas cookies because that's something that we always do together no matter what. Having amazing activities woven into your relationship with someone can make them want to see you even more because they associate those pleasant feelings of the activity with you. So try to build things into your relationship that this person does not do with anyone else, and that can create serious anticipation. Ooh, this one's really sneaky. I told you I was wearing the witching shirt. This is some witchery magic right here. This one's not actually hard to do, but it will be emotionally hard for you, I think. We all know that it's really hard to miss someone when they're giving you attention all the time. You kind of think oh, I don't need them. They just really like me. I'm the bomb. But what happens when they drop off the map and stop giving you that attention? It makes you think oh, where'd they go? What happened? What'd I do? How can I get them back? So my friends, it is time to skip a few likes. So if you've been engaging with someone on social media or heavily flirting with them, try just dropping off the face of the planet for a couple of days. Stop engaging with their stories, don't even watch their stories, don't like their posts, and they will definitely start to wonder about you. The key here is that you really don't want to take it too far. If they text you and be hey, where are you? Where have you been? You don't want to also ignore that. Text them back. Or if they see you in person and they say hi, definitely say hi back to them. You don't want to make it seem like you're mad at them. You just really want to make it seem like you've got other stuff going on and that you're not always watching what's going on in their lives. The 5th way to make someone miss you. Now this one's a little bit more complicated and it has to do with the honeymoon phase of a relationship or any kind of new friendship or getting to know someone. So the honeymoon phase of any kind of friendship or relationship is when we're right at the beginning and we're diving into all of the information that we can learn about them. They're learning everything about us and we're learning everything about them. And it can all feel very, very fast and intense. And while it's really tempting to want to just dive in and let them learn everything about you, you, this is actually very, very counterintuitive to getting them to miss you, because they can't miss you when they know everything about you. You need to keep them wanting more. So to make someone miss you, you really need to hold yourself back from sharing everything and just give them little tiny bits at a time. The last thing you want to be seen as is overbearing, because that makes somebody pull back in hesitation or retaliation. Like, ooh, it's too much. You want to give them just a little bit so that they come forward into you and want to know more about you. So a really good example of what not to do is this. So if somebody asks me to tell them all about myself, what I really don't want to do is say something like, hello, my name is Kimberly Moffat. I'm a business owner and I love to do YouTube videos, and my passion in life is relationships, and I have an amazing husband named Nathan and a baby named Zach and a daughter named Cassie and blah, 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 blah. That is a huge no. Nobody could ever possibly miss me if I give them that much of myself. So what I would want to do instead is answer the bare minimum to the question that they're asking. So Kim, tell me about yourself. Oh, my name is Kimberly and I'm a very passionate business owner. Answering with a really positive answer that's just kind of like the bare minimum but still shares a little bit leads the other person to say, oh, well, tell me more about that business. That sounds really exciting. When somebody asks me to tell them more, I might give them a little bit but still push it off to another conversation. If they say, oh, tell me more, I would say, oh, honestly, like business owning, like entrepreneurship is so amazing, but that's like a conversation for a whole nother time, like maybe over a glass of wine or something. This makes them feel like it's really juicy and exciting and passionate and like something they could really have a great conversation with you over. This tip is about actually spending time with your friends and having hobbies. If your life revolves around your crush now and that person ends up becoming your partner, then your life will revolve around them, and that's not a healthy relationship to start off with. So you always want to make sure that you have like a great balance and that you're always doing other things outside of what's related to your crush. So a really good example of this is a friend or coworker or crush saying, hey, you want to grab something to eat tonight? And you saying something like, I'm actually going out with a friend tonight, but I'll catch you another time. I love this, and you can even suggest another time when you can do that thing. When you actually have something that you're doing, it's just awesome. The 7th way to make someone miss you, this is something I've never talked about on this channel before, but it's to actually give them some mental and or physical space. So look at the dynamics that you have going on right now and change something. Maybe you're physically together, but you decide to give mental space by doing another activity while you're in the same room with them. That's totally fine. Or you stay connected via social media, but you're physically apart. Maybe you're on vacation or you're taking a few days to just hang with other friends. Too much mental or physical presence alone can actually break a relationship or a budding relationship because it's overbearing. If you have a little bit of both, try pulling back on just a little bit of one of those and see what happens. Now, if you're someone who's in a long distance relationship, or you don't see your crush, your partner, or the person who you're trying to make miss you that much, it might seem that because you're physically apart from each other that they should miss you more, but it doesn't always work that way. Too much space can actually be a bad thing. So for example, if you're away from someone for an entire week, they may actually start to enjoy the space and forget that you were even a part of their daily routine. And if they don't think about you, it's pretty much impossible for them to miss you. So this means in order to get them to miss you, you need to remind them of your presence in a very, very specific way. My best advice to keep someone feeling connected with you is to send them a picture. And this is a lot better than texting because they actually get to see your face and be reminded that you're there and that they really, really potentially have feelings for you. Having a reminder of what you look like is going to spark a much, much stronger response in them. It's gonna make them think about you a lot longer than it would if you had just sent them a quick text message and they responded. FaceTime is very important. So if they're really into you, they are going to miss seeing your face and they're really gonna wanna see you again soon. If you're nervous about this, you can do it much more subtly by still taking a picture of yourself, but then just being like, oh, how do you like my new haircut? Or how do you like my new outfit? So it doesn't seem as like overt or aggressive as just sending a selfie. You can do it in a more subtle way, and then they still get the benefit of seeing your beautiful smiling face. And even though you know it's because your intentions are to be a sorceress and make them miss you, it is totally okay because it's all with good intentions. All right, you guys, I hope these tips on getting someone to miss you are very helpful for you in your lives. I know for sure I have used these in different relationships that I've been in my life. And of course, I'm married now with 2 beautiful kids, and Zach just turned 1. Oh my goodness, life is good right now. I love you all very much, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week for another video all about relationships. Bye, guys.